Welcome to another brief episode of Enwisdomization. As we say here, to enwisdomize is to put wisdom into something, to expand our minds, our consciousness beyond the limitation of this reality, beyond the three-dimensional cognition. This physical reality, the mainstream system, the educational system, the religious system, the social conditioning, cultural conditioning, are what I regard as the three-dimensional reality, because these systems are put in place to constrain the expansion of your consciousness, to limit your awareness, to trap your soul from exploring these other multi-dimensional reality, right? So for our souls to evolve beyond the condition of being human means that we must challenge the condition of being human, because all the systems of this world are prism, and prisms are prison. Prisms are prison. And what is prism? Prism is a particular lens. Like a lens. You look at the world through specific lens. And every other mode of knowledge presented to you is rejected, because you have concretized. You have already formed an opinion. And that is what narrow-mindedness implies. That is what naivety entails. That is what you say that somebody is uncritical. Somebody's mind is limited. And what causes the condition of the limitedness of our minds? What imposed that condition of limitedness into our consciousness? What infused it there is the programming of this reality, of the mainstream mode of information. We have to realize that what we call education, as far as the mainstream system is concerned, is actually miseducation. What we call the news or information is actually misinformation, because these systems are controlled by the elites. Elites are the agents of the matrix. They are the doorkeepers of the system, and they will make sure that you are so distracted. They provide you particular prism like a lens. They give you a certain way of looking at the world that becomes your prison. And that is why I say that prism is your prison. Your prism is your prison. If you have a religious lens, you look at the world through this narrow religious formula, or through this particular educational formula, or this particular culture. This is my culture. Look at the world. I understand the world only within this particular prism. That prism becomes your prison, because it hinders the expansion of your consciousness. And once you are trapped within this highly conditioned prism and prison, it means that your mind cannot be elevated. Your consciousness, your judgment, your soul cannot expand to this other multi-dimensional reality. And that is what we emphasize here, to elevate our minds beyond the three-dimensional cognition. Because these different prisms we look at the world are based on the three-dimensional reality. It's based on matter. It is based on low vibration. It is based on deception. Remember, the whole world is under the rulership of the king of darkness, or the lord of darkness, or the god of this world. So how you think you're going to be smarter than the god of this world, who designed this program you believe in, who designed this prism through which you view and interpret the world? So those who are going to evolve in the future, the next phase of evolution, and I'm not talking of artificial induced evolution that the cryptocrats and the Luciferians are promoting. I'm talking of divine evolution, evolving back to the original creator, expanding your mind beyond the entrapment of the visible light spectrum, or beyond the confinement of matter. right? Those who will transcend the events of this reality, the cognition or the infection. Remember, you view the world through a particular prism because you are infected. There is an infection in you that limits your cognition, your higher cognition. And that is why you continually are trapped in a low cognition. So, please do subscribe to my channel. This is the Primordial Wave. Anyone who is aware, who is conscious, and you examine events in our world, you look at the world and understand the world, you will soon realize that there are those behind the curtain pulling the strings. The masses you see in the public, your school teachers, your professors, your pastors, the newscasters, the media people, they are but puppets on a string pulled from behind by the Luciferian kleptocratic oligarchs, by the puppet masters. By the way, watch a movie called The Wizard of Oz. That wizard is, again, another occult movie, highly coded. And they tell you that even though those on the stage playing the game, playing the drama, right, are being controlled by those in the darkness, those behind the curtain. Go and watch that movie called The Wizard of Oz, because that movie is occult. As I say, there's nothing that these elites do without, first of all, letting you know. But oftentimes you are so distracted to understand when they are telling you about reality. So, if you pay attention to events in the world, there's something going on. The public psychology, the public space is being inundated. The masses of the people is being bombarded, being inundated with the idea of trans. Trans this, trans that. You hear transhumanism, transgenetics or transgenics. You hear trans species, right? You hear transbiology. These are the codes that the Luciferian kleptocrats who run the political system, the media system, the economic system, who pushes the world into the next cultural or social evolution or revolution, are putting in the minds of the people to do something called predictive mind programming. They are socially, emotionally, mentally engineering the world population to accept the next evolution, or should I say devolution, because the Luciferians actually don't evolve people, they de-evolve people. So this idea of transhumanism, even transsexualism, everything is trans. What is trans? Is crossing over to the other side. You're passing over, you're crossing over to the other side. That is what trans means. And why our academic environment all over the world, universities, colleges, high schools, even elementary schools, are being inundated and being mentally programmed to accept this passing over to the other side, the side of the new world order. That is what they are talking about. That is what they are promoting. They are transcending the human condition in something they call transhumanism. Transhumanism means that they are dissatisfied with being human. They want to be something more. And that something more is a Lucifer-engineered bio-digital system. So in the future, man is not going to be biological. Man is going to be both biological and synthetic. They are pushing the world through the social media, through something called in vivo desensitization. In vivo desensitization is a psychoanalytic technique. Anyone who is familiar with Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis will understand that this is a condition, this is a technique that could be used to engineer somebody, to reprogram somebody's neurology, right? Somebody's mind, somebody's thought form to change, right? You can use in vivo desensitization. For example, somebody is afraid of snakes or scorpions or spiders or frog. They have phobia, Some people have like extreme phobia in the presence of a rat. If a rat enters their house, they're not going to sleep in that house for a long time, A It is like a psychological called phobia, right? People can use something called in vivo desensitization to recondition the mind over a long period of gradual exposure to stop being afraid of those things, right? It's like kind of mind engineering. So what am I saying? The cryptocratic elite, the Luciferians, those who pull the string from behind, like the movie The Wizard of Oz, those who control world events from the dark side, are using something called dark psychology on the masses of the people on this planet. I'm going to say that again. Those who are in the dark, controlling the world, are using occult dark psychology. Remember, occultists are the greatest dark psychologists you will ever find, right? They understand the basis of the human psychology. They understand human instinct. And that is why occultism is focused on. So this global Luciferian elite are using this in vivo desensitization in media to promote their agenda. Their agenda is the agenda of the New World Order. That is what they call in Freemason the Great Work, the Grand Work. So, and guess what? They are succeeding because they have cracked the code of life. They have cracked the code of life. And because they have cracked the code of life, the Luciferians are now very confident in terms of transforming this planet. It's something called terraformation. That is why you keep hearing geomodification. Geo means the ground, the earth. Geomodification. They are modifying this planet, the trees, the plants, all insect species, right? They are gradually transforming everything to conform to the world that is coming. The world that is coming is the world of artificial intelligence. The government of the future is going to be a worldwide government based on technocracy, based on technocratic socialism or communism. Technocracy means government by people who control technology, the rich who control technology, and they are also cryptocrats. The world is not run by voting or democracy or any other or monarchy. The world is run by cryptocracy. Cryptocracy are a group of elites who are in the hidden, who controls events in the physical world. They determine who becomes the president. They determine who becomes the president of World Bank or who heads the United Nations. These people are in the hidden. They don't manifest themselves in the visible because they are in the dark side. So, in 2003, the world elite, top-notch elite scientists were able to crack the code of life. What am I talking about? I'm talking about they were able to decipher, to crack the code of DNA. And that should frighten any human being on this planet, because now the code of life is in the hand of potentially mad scientists, Luciferians, right? People who are soulless, people who are people who don't have conscience, psychopaths, people who can destroy life on this planet and they don't give a damn. Because one of the greatest secrets hidden from humans, true humans, soul-carrying humans, one of the greatest secrets is to believe that everybody is everybody, that every biological person carries soul. Is one of the greatest occult secrets on this planet. There are species amongst us who are inorganic, who are artificial, who don't carry souls. And these are some percentage of humanity who inserted themselves within soul-carrying humans in order to distract soul-carrying humans. These people were brought here by other species, by other centers of negative vibration, what you call the satanic center, or Satan actually introduced these people on this planet to mingle with true humans in order to distract them. Their one goal is to make sure that they distract humanity. They are the ones who engineer all wars, all physical, humanly induced catastrophe in the world. they moved the world towards chaos using something called Hegelian dialectics to engineer the next phase of the agenda, because they are serving the Dark Master. The Dark Master is Saturn. The Dark Master is Satan or Lucifer, right? That is what they serve. And these people are here with us. So when they decoded the code of life in 2003, that should be a red alert to every soul-carrying human on this planet, because now they have become gods. He who controls genetics, he who understands how to manipulate genetics becomes God, because that was how God created the genetic code. When you read the book of the Apocalypse or book of Revelation, you see we are told about the book of life. The book of life is nothing but your DNA sequence. That is what these people have decoded. Now, if this technology or this science is in the hands of good people, good scientists, we don't have any worry, because they will use it for good. The problem is that good scientists and good soulful people, good souled people don't run the world from the top. So this technology has fallen into the hands of the cryptocratic Luciferian Satanists, who are diabolical, who are evil, who have nefarious, evil intents for humanity. And they are the ones who are engineering the next phase of human evolution, or rather de-evolution. They want to de-evolve. To evolve means to rise, to expand. But to de-evolve is to bring down, to lower consciousness, to lower humanity's self-awareness and self-realization. That is their goal. So remember, the obsession to understand the code of life, which is DNA, has been going on for thousands of years. The Luciferians, they have been using something called occult alchemy to try to push life towards Lucifer's side, towards Lucifer matrix. And they have been in the secret covens in different places, in the science institutions around the world. They have been trying for a long time to understand this code of life, DNA, but now they cracked it open. What awaits humanity is scary for those whose consciousness are weak, right? Because what does this mean? Genetic science understood by the Luciferian. What does that mean for you, for your future, for your children? What does this mean? It means that their modification agenda is now tenable, is now practical. They want to modify the human species to be part of the AI system, artificial intelligence, because if you have soul, it's difficult to control you because you can escape this dimension. But when they modify your DNA, remember the sequence, they understand the nucleotide of DNA, they understand it. Now what they are doing is that they can infuse artificial consciousness into you to make you de-evolve from soul consciousness to nothing but base material entity, because these creatures don't have souls and they want to de-evolve you to be like them. They want to make you into purely terrestrial material existence. They want to destroy any route you might take to escape this dimension. Remember, this planet is a dimension. This planet is a prison. This planet is a prison. So even in the 1950s, we see British scientists like Francis Crick and James Gatson. They, at least in the modern time, they were the ones who discovered this something called double helix DNA. And since after that discovery, like science of DNA jumped forward exponentially, and they have been crazy mad rush to control all biospecies or all biological organisms by altering their DNA code. The code of life, the book of life, is in danger of being controlled by these Luciferians, by these Satanists who control the world, right? So we see a few years back is a Chinese scientist. I think his name is He Jin Kui, something like that. I don't speak Chinese language. I don't speak Mandarin. His name is He Jin Kui. He was able to successfully edit. You know how you write a book, you go and edit it. He was able to edit the genetic code of 2 babies, so he produced, should I say artificial children? Edited their gene, right? He created basically new creatures, right? Using scientific knowledge. And he is not alone, because even in the Western society, in the United States, I think after that, even the US also began, because there is a technological race going on in the world among these technologically advanced nations. They are trying to see who can outdo each other. So after the Chinese scientists successfully edited the genetic code of 2 babies, was able to literally produce edited, genetically engineered children, right? So we see other top global scientists began their own race in terms of the modification and the control of the human genome, or the human nucleotide, or the DNA, right? And that's why many things in sciences, there is this obsession, this absolute obsession to interpret, to understand, and to modify DNA. So what is the danger here? The danger is that this technology, one of the most recent technological means is called CRISPR technology, or CRISPR science. They can use CRISPR science to edit your DNA, to change the codes of your DNA, to de-evolve you if they want. Even though, like many things the Luciferians do, they tell you, oh, it's for medical purposes. We want to be able to cure cancer, We want to be able to cure cancer, want to be able to do this. But beyond these seemingly altruistic goals, behind this seemingly good intention, lies the great agenda of New World Order, the great agenda of transhumanism, or being able to change humanity from biocentric organism to mechanical organism. That is the goal. That is the agenda. Because when your gene has been altered, are you still a human? For example, now they are talking about synthetic DNA, which means artificial DNA, which they can, infuse into real human species, right? They are talking of artificial blood, artificial cells, right? Artificial eyes, artificial skin, right? Why is this? It's called bioprosthetics. They want to change everything about you to become artificial. And they are conditioning, even in the medical sciences, because the people they get first are these academic lackeys. These people who call themselves professors, they catch them first, because once they catch them, they can use them to teach other people and condition the minds of other people to believe that this is truly an altruistic medical science. So they are getting the world ready for something called to transform human from being a human to being something called cybernetic organism, which is a man that is infused with machine or with digital technology, right? Because in the future, the world is going to be divided into 2. You're going to have enhanced human, digitally or technologically enhanced human, and real human who are not enhanced, right? So if, for example, you are a student and you are in a class with somebody who is implanted with electrode or with digital equipment in their brain, who can download information straight from the internet, download all knowledge just in an instant. Are you trying to tell me that it may take you 1,000 years to study to know what this person knows, because he can have access to any knowledge in the world in an instant? That is the future that the transhumanists are dreaming. Somebody may say, well, what is wrong with that? Everybody's going to be smart. Everybody's going to be smart if you are a materialist. If you don't believe that humans have other higher self, that a human person has higher self, has soul, that is good for you, right? If you are a materialist, if you believe in this modern anthropocentric materialism, that there's nothing more to human than just this life, that this life is all that is. If you believe in that, this is your world. This is going to be your future. This is going to be this new world order they are dreaming. You're going to have your Christmas. But if you are a soul consciousness who understands that you are a celestial being, you came from a different realm, and you're trapped here, and you're supposed to live here and return to where you came from. If you understand that, you see that this bio-digital, mechanical, prosthetic augmentation is meant to trap you here and to lessen your soul consciousness. That is the goal. That is the goal. Aldous Huxley put out a book, and I've cited this book over and over in my platform. It's called A Brave New World. They're talking of the New World Order, folks. These kind of people who write this book they're not fiction. They put it in form of fiction so that stupid, ignorant masses, the sheeps out there, will not understand and they won't read it. But these are the people who tell you what is to come. If you want to understand prophecy of the elite, go and study this book. Go and study this book. Another book is by The New World Order by, I think, H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells is another one of the mouthpiece of the secret society, of the elite. So whenever these people write book, read it. It's not fiction. So Aldous Huxley talked about the coming new world, the New World Order unveiling. The New World Order is going to be the great age of Satan. It's going to be an era of technocratic socialism. They will try to pretend that they are creating this global egalitarianism where everybody's going to be equal. But they are trying to design a world where people are actually lack free will. People are hive-minded. People don't have individual consciousness and individual freedom. And that is why they are pushing to infuse human biology with artificial synthetic machine. Because if you are implanted with electrode in your brain, for example, it means that you can be linked neuronally. Neuronally has to do with your brain. Your brain can be linked with artificial system in the space, with the AI. It means that the AI controls your mind. Remember, the devil runs this world like, if the analogy I give is like ant, the ant colony. The ant has queen. The queen is at the center. Every ant, if there is 1 million ants in one particular colony, right? Every single ant is designed to serve the queen, because the queen can secrete chemical that commands ants to work for her. You have workers, you have all these ants working for the queen. The same thing with the bees. If you find a beehive, there's the central focus of that beehive is the queen. Every bee works for the queen. You have soldiers who defend the queen. You have those who go and bring food and feed the queen. So that is in the future. That is how this artificial consciousness called the AI or the artificial intelligence is going to be the center. It's going to be like the queen, and every person who is linked will be controlled by this central technological consciousness. Remember, artificial consciousness is also consciousness. The AI, as I have said, is the mind of Lucifer, is the mind of the devil. So it's not just technology. It's not just technology. That's what people don't get. Because people's minds are focused on this brainwashed, anthropocentric materialism. They're promoting all over the place in the universities and colleges, right? But artificial consciousness, folks, is the mind of Lucifer. What kind of knowledge will you have as a human, as a mortal, to supersede the mind of Lucifer? Tell me. He sees in millions of years. You are limited. You are limited. You're confined within this physical body, and you're limited. So, and that's why they want to design the world so that you are shut off from your higher self. You are prevented from ascending. Your mind from ascending. Your soul from ascending. They want to keep you here by making you mechanical. And that is what all this bioprosthetics, digitalization of the human species. That is what it's all about. That is the agenda. That is the new world order. That is the great work. And this great work has been going on for thousands of years through something called occult alchemy. All your social, that's why I shouted here, we must transcend the three-dimensional cognition, because the 3D cognition is a control system designed to keep you linked to the false god of this world. The material God, the God who created this material plane, and keep your body, keep your soul entrapped in the body. The body is the hexagram. Hex is curse. Hexagram. The body is a machine that is like a firewall. That's why your soul cannot escape. So, and they understand that, and they want to engineer you to be trapped in the physical dimension for ever and ever, because they feed off of your consciousness. You're working for the queen. You're working for Satan. You don't just know everybody in this world. It's like a hive, like bees working for the queen. And in the future, it's going to be more manifest, because with the coming of the AI, remember, artificial intelligence the brain of the artificial mind that is coming like maybe billion times more than the thinking of any human being. So you cannot outsmart this machine system they are designing. And that is why they are promoting this. They are cracking the code of your DNA, because with your DNA, with these Luciferians, these mad scientists, these evil people understanding your DNA, it means you will be engineered. They can put something on the atmosphere to de-evolve you, to alter the sequence of your DNA. They understood it. They cracked the code of life. And people are just waking up, going about their business because people are stupid, ignorant, and all they want is entertainment, to have fun, right? And that is how you are controlled. And when you present this kind of knowledge and information to be like, I don't want to hear all those things, I just want to be, I don't want to know all these things, right? But because we are stupid and we are daft and we're ignorant, that is why we don't understand what is happening around us. Remember, they distract you with football, with all. That's why even in ancient Rome, how did the Roman Caesar elite control the masses? They give them all kinds of entertainment. You go to the Colosseum, which is like modern day stadium. You have fun. The masses are just jubilating and happy, playing all kinds of games, but there are things going on that the masses don't know, right? And that's how, even in our modern time, the people are being distracted from actually understanding that these Luciferians are bio-digitally, alchemically designing everybody and pushing the world to the new world order. This new world order is going to be the age of Satan. Not just the age of Satan, but the great age of Satan. The great age of Satan, right? So how are you prepared to fight, to resist what they are pushing on the masses, on the people? We cannot even resist if you don't know what the fuck is happening, right? So CRISPR technology, research on CRISPR technology, and see that this science is, this molecular biological science is one of the tools that will be used for the terraformation, for the modification of people. Now they are also talking of hybridization, or something called trans-species. What does it mean? Trans, remember, crossover to the other species, which means they can infuse the gene of a fish into human and create human man-fish. They can infuse the gene of elephant to create human elephant. They can infuse the genetic code of plant. Now they are talking of maybe in the future they don't want people to be eating food. They want, because that is quote unquote environmentally unsustainable. So what they're trying to do is to design people to photosynthesize, what they call photosynthesis. Plants eat sunlight. Plants don't eat food. So they're trying to create human skin to be like the plants, right? They're also talking of creating people that might be like bioluminescence, like people whose skins glow in the night, right? Like insects, because there are insects, flying insects that can glow in the night. They can take those genes from those glowing insects and infuse it into the human DNA to make people glow at night. What is wrong with this? This is what they call Frankenstein technology. This is satanic technology. But this is the agenda of the cryptocrats, because they want to keep everyone trapped in the three-dimensional reality. They can say, well, people cannot survive in freezing temperature. So if they find animal that can survive in freezing temperature, maybe penguin or any other animal, they can graft a genetic material from that animal and infuse it into the human gene so that people can go and sleep in ice all year and they don't feel it. But that was not our original design. All these technologies are demonic technology. They are evil technology. And I'm not like a technological Luddite. I'm not condemning all technological know-how of humans. I am only saying that this technology are in the hand of the transhumanists who are promoting transbiology, who are promoting trans-species, who are promoting the degeneration of the human soul consciousness. That is my concern. Now, if you're a materialist, what I'm saying might not bother you. If you believe there's no other side to reality, that life, this is life. Once we die here, we decay, and that is it. This is going to be your future. you're going to have a lot of Christmas here. But if you retain that inner instinctive knowledge, that inner soul awareness of where you came from, you know that this technology is designed to trap all soul consciousness in the physical reality. I'm going to stop here. I think I'm 40 minutes into this. I'm going to stop here. Please do subscribe to my channel, and as I say, elevate your consciousness beyond this three-dimensional cognition. The 3D cognition is controlled by the God of this world, who control the hexagram, the hex. There are energies and frequencies you don't see, vibrations that keeps your thought focused on matter, trapped in matter. This is hex or hexagram or the 666, right? That is how you are conditioned to focus on the prism. That's why when you focus on your small religion, you think that is it. They are the ones who gave you all these things. When you focus on your small knowledge you get from school, is a prism. You see the life. Remember, the prism is your prison. The lens through which you see the world, through which you interpret the world, is your prison. And how do you escape? You escape by destroying that lens. Shatter your lens. Challenge all assumptions you've been indoctrinated with, be it religious assumption. Challenge it. If you are in school system or in church system or in mosques, Islamic system that prevents you from asking fundamental questions, you shatter it, you destroy it, so that you can see reality from a broader perspective. You can get out of the prison, because the prison is like a lens. You know how people like have lens? It's focused, it's just unidirectional. It's just one way, you just see tiny things. But if you destroy that prism, you can get out of the prison. And that is one of the ways to escape the matrix, because the matrix is designed by the God of this world, who the Bible said has blinded the minds of men from understanding the truth of the higher eon, or of the higher consciousness. Again, I am the Wisdomizer. This is the primordial wave, and until next time.